Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 3, 4. You guys ready? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT Joe-Fi. Did you hear the enthusiasm in my voice? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT Joe-Fi. God, I sound awful when I do that. I sound like every other YouTuber. Guys, what's going on? Welcome again for the third time to hashtag TNT Joe-Fi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. Today is Wednesday, September 16th. Good afternoon to people in the US. Good morning, good evening to everyone else around the world. Hopefully everyone's doing well today. We have a good amount of news to go through, but for me, I have three stories that I want to talk about. I want to talk about this OnePlus Nord that's coming to the States. I want to talk about how it's going to compare to the Pixel 4a, the specs inside that Nord N10 5G. God, what are with these names? And I want to talk about the Pixel 5. I want to break down the Pixel 5 and talk about what we can expect when it comes to that phone. So before I do all of that, let me go ahead and get into chat here. Let me say hi to everybody that has come to stop by. I appreciate it like always. Sorry, I had to swallow. Max Tech Studios is first. Max Tech Studios, welcome. You win the overall prize of being first, so welcome. Tobez is in here as well. What up, guys? What's going on, Tobez? Nice to see you. William Maya is here as well. Hey, everyone. What's going on, William? Nice to see you. Brian, midweek TNT Joe-Fi. That's right. This is TNT Joe-Fi Hump Day edition. Right? Wednesday? Yes, Wednesday. Deepak Murthy is in here as well. Hello, hello. What's going on, Deepak? And then Nico's Gamer is asking, are the specs different in any way from the OnePlus Nord version? I believe they are. I haven't had time to really just like dig into it, but I know it will be, at least in terms of the processor or chipset. but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Nikos, I don't think I've seen you in here before, or maybe I have and I've said hi before. Maybe you're just not a regular, but welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Team Varai is in here as well, walking along a dark alleyway to pick up my wife from work. That just sounds creepy, Team Varai, while listening to Thriller. What's going on, Team Varai? Nice to have you in here. Rajiv is in here as well. LLLO. What's going on, Rajiv? How are you? Nice to see you as well. It's been a minute. I don't think I've seen you in a bit. Welcome. Team Varai is saying there's a iOS 14 update being super late. I thought I read something about that. I just haven't had time to look into it because I was all appled out yesterday talking about Apple. Not my favorite thing to talk about. Yeah, actually, now that you say that, I don't think I've gotten an update for iOS 14 either. So I didn't even read into the news for that. So Rajiv says, yo, bro, just office work. So getting tired and sleeping. So not able to join daily. Rajiv, it's all good, man. No worries. I appreciate anybody who's able to come on when they can, spend some time, talk about tech. So whenever you can make it, it's always nice to see you guys come in and stop by. BCP is in here. I haven't seen BCP in a minute as well. Looking forward to what you have to say about the Pixel 4a and 5. Well, that's we're going to spend the majority of the day talking about both. Actually, that's all I have to talk about today. I have a story about the Galaxy Z Fold 2, but I might save that for tomorrow. Okay. Damien Wadadley is in here. How's it going, Jerome? I'm good. Damien, how are you? I'm messaging on my T-Mobile version of the LG Velvet. That's right. I'm enjoying it a lot. That's great. The under the display fingerprint reader is meh. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of under display fingerprint readers as well, but other than that, nothing but love so far. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that MediaTek chipset seems like it's doing well for you also. Thank you for giving me an update on that. I always, so many things happen. I forget like what's going on with everyone. So I appreciate you keeping me posted. William says completed an 88-hour fast yesterday. Can't say thanks enough for your finally fasting channel. William, 88 hours that's legit, man. Good for you, William. I'm glad. I know this is not the channel for fasting, but thank you for the kind words and congratulations on that 88 hour. I'm going to be completing my 65 today. Best of luck to you, man. Keep me posted. Send a comment on the other channel. Let me know how you're doing there. So thank you. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it, man. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let me say hi to everyone else before we get into it, because we do have a lot to talk about today. Jennifer Cho is in here. Hi, how's it going, Jennifer? Nice to see you. It looks like you've now been regularly stopping by, which is great, just like the other regulars. So everybody, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Zolfi is in here as well. Hey, what's going on, Zolfi? I love that avatar. It's all like, yeah, this is my regular pose. I just woke up in the morning. No, it's a good avatar. Zolfi, how you doing, man? Welcome. Zane Beg is in here as well. Hello, everyone. What's going on, Zane? How are you? Zolfi's asking, what's your favorite mobile? Like in terms of my phone, my favorite of all time, or my favorite currently? Because this is my current favorite. It's my Pixel 4a that got some whatever on it. My Pixel 4a is my favorite phone right now. It is actually, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But I love it for the price point, for what it gives you. I'm kind of in love with this phone, and I'm only hoping that the 4a 5G or the Pixel 5 will be that much better. But we're going to talk about the 5 today. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I like it more than my iPhone 11 Pro at the moment. I mean, if I had to take one and I had to travel with only one phone for the next month, it would most likely be my iPhone 11 Pro, because the 4a is still lacking when it comes to some things, right? Like it's not going to have the processing power of the 11 Pro. It's not going to be, it doesn't have the ultra wide camera, et cetera, but it is the 4a for what it is my favorite phone right now. Max Tech Studio says, which phone plan do you use, Jerome? I use T-Mobile. Actually, Max Tech Studios, I didn't have a chance. I never got a chance to ever check your channel out until recently. And I noticed that you talk about phone plans on there, and that's great. I do use T-Mobile. I am on a grandfathered plan that also has like a firefighter plan on there or discount. So my total, I have unlimited, well, not unlimited. I think I have 10 gig rollover and then, unlimited talk and text. And my phone bill is $32 after taxes per phone. I have 2 lines, but no, it's less than 32 now. We just dropped in price. I think we're at 24. I'm sorry, 32 is the old one. I think I pay no more than 24 a month after taxes on my plan. It's really good. Anyway, but what I was trying to say, Max Tech Studios, is I enjoy your channel. Thank you for posting your info there or your content. It's great. I do enjoy it. I'd wait. Sharma, hello. The Apple event was saddening, man. Yeah, it was not my favorite. I still thought it was good. I mean, I was surprised about a couple of things. I thought it was decent, but it wasn't like, it didn't shock me. It didn't like get me out of my seat and said, amazing or whatever, it wasn't anything like that. But I thought I thought the iPad Air, I think that was the best thing of the event, the iPad Air. The Series 6 Apple Watch, that's nice, but it's very expensive. And I would like the cellular version of it, but I'm wearing my like $20 Casio watch that I've had for 7-8 years. So I'm in no hurry at the moment. Ted, hi Ted. I was like reading something else here. What was I reading? What did I miss here? Oh, okay, never mind. Ted, hi Jerome. Here because of the PS5 live stream. Event is taking forever. Well, thank you that I'm not your priority. We all know that Phone Jerome should be priority over any other live streaming events. Okay, guys, let me hurry up and go down here so we can get into the news. Jeffrey Molina is in here. What's up, Jerome? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you, Jeffrey. Hope you're doing well as well. Jennifer Cho says, I haven't used an Apple product since my old iPod Touch 5th gen. Someone is obviously Jennifer has made it every time I see Jennifer in here, it's about the Pixel. I feel like Jennifer is just a huge Pixel fan, which there's nothing wrong with. I'm a huge Pixel fan as well. Max Tech Studios, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And he says he's probably going to get the new iPad Air. I mean, it looks pretty good. It does. Matthew Williams. Hey, Matthew, how's it going, man? Apple could sell ice to Eskimos. with their production, with their marketing skills. Yeah, with both of those for sure. Definitely for sure. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's get started. Let's talk about this OnePlus Nord. First of all, when it comes to this name, I just talked about how awful companies name their phones. And who was it? I think it was Gandek who asked and said, name one company that names their phones properly. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. I don't know if there's one company that can really, it's a cluster for everybody. I would swear, but I've been trying very hard to keep my streams monetized. So this OnePlus Nord is going to be called the Nord N10 5G. What a name. What a name. We can't just call it the Nord or the Nord N10. It has to be the Nord N10 5G. Go ahead and add more numbers in there because why not, right? So it's coming to the US with a Snapdragon 690, a 90 hertz display for under $400. The very first thing I thought about when I saw this article title was, this is going to be competing directly with the Pixel 4a. When they say under 400, are they talking about 399? Are they talking about 379? Are they talking about 349? Will it compete directly? Will it be a direct price competitor to the Pixel 4a? I don't think we have that info yet, but let's take a look at the specs and see if it's even competition for the 4a. OnePlus Nord N10 5G. That's an awful name, OnePlus. Please, hire me. I will name your phones. Any phone company can hire me. I will name all your phones and everyone's going to like it. I know some people don't like my model year naming convention, but you'll learn to love it. You will learn to love it. The Nord N10 5G will be the first OnePlus phone with a 64 megapixel camera, and it'll launch in the US later this year. We won't read those tidbits yet because we'll just get into the entire article here. When OnePlus released the Nord earlier this year, it mentioned that the phone was the first model in a series of mid-range phones targeted at the sub $500 segment. So while the Snap 765G based OnePlus Nord didn't debut in the US, OnePlus clarified that it would launch another variant in the country at a later date. My question is why? Why can't they launch the OnePlus Nord with the 765G in the States? Is it money? Is it, I mean, is that just the bottom line? Is it because they know that if they bring the Nord here with the 765G, they're going to have to price it higher? They don't want to cut the price because they're not going to make enough profit from it. So instead of a 765G, they are settling on a Snapdragon 690. Is that the end of the world? I don't know. I took some time to take a look at the benchmarks, but we're going to go into that after we go through this article. We can now confirm via an insider source that OnePlus is planning to release a new model in the Nord series in the US later this year. The phone is dubbed the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. The OnePlus Nord N10 5G. No one's going to remember this. Its internal code name is Billy. Let's just call this the OnePlus Billy. If we called it the OnePlus Billy, that's going to be a lot easier to remember than the Nord N10 5G. And it will be the first OnePlus phone to offer a 64 megapixel camera at the back. The phone will be powered by a Snap 690, Qualcomm's first Snap 600 series chipset with 5G connectivity. So if we're going to talk about comparing it to the Pixel 4a, right off the bat, the 690 will already be able to tout the fact that it has 5G on it. So take that for what you will. We've discussed this many times. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of 5G, but that's because it's not mature yet. It's not fully deployed yet. It's not at its prime yet. And I think a lot of people are fawning over 5G when it isn't the thing to be prioritizing just yet. But it is faster, technically, on paper, than 4G LTE. I just don't know how much faster, how much availability you'll be able to get that speed. And at this point in time, I don't know if it's completely worth it just yet. But again, on paper, this Nord N10 5G, it has an advantage over the Pixel 4a because of 5G connectivity. That's just the fact. That's just the fact. So the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, God, I hate saying that, will have a 6.5-inch display with a 90 hertz refresh rate and an FHD plus resolution. So I'm gonna keep kind of like going back and forth here because I have the Pixel 4a. We're gonna talk about how it compares. So the Nord N10 5G will have a bigger display, 6.5-inch versus this 5.8-inch. So if you're a fan of a bigger display, if you want a bigger form factor, that Nord N10 5G will fulfill your fantasy will fulfill your need for a bigger display. Also, it's going to have a 90 hertz refresh rate. Whether or not that makes a difference to you, you get a higher refresh rate. So again, 5G connectivity, 90 hertz refresh rate. Pluses for this upcoming Nord N10 5G. A con is the name. We can also confirm that the base variant of the OnePlus Nord N10 5G will include 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. So the exact same amount of RAM and storage as the Pixel 4a. As for internal hardware, the inclusion of the Snap 690 should make things interesting. The chipset is built on the 8 nanometer node and features the latest Cortex A77 cores, with Qualcomm touting a 25% increase in performance over the Snap 675. The Snap 690 has a built-in Snap X51 5G modem with global 5G connectivity and a 2.5 gigabit per second downlink. And then, okay, so they're going to talk about the camera here, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a second, and I just want to show you how the Snap 730, well, actually, I don't know if, is the Pixel 4a a Snap 730 and not a 730G? Anyway, close enough. So this Snap 730G versus a Snap 690, okay, so the one thing I want to kind of clarify here is the moment I saw 690, I was like, it's going to be slower. It's already inferior to the 730G. The Pixel 4a wins. But as I kind of like dug down into the specs here, I was like, okay, maybe not. So if we look at this 730 versus the 690, you'll see that, all right, in terms of CPU performance, it's showing here that the 690 offers higher benchmark scores. Does that mean that it inherently is just better overall? Most likely not. Most likely something that you're not going to notice, but on paper and in pure performance, raw power numbers, this looks like it has an edge in terms of CPU performance. But you can also see it here in terms of GPU, a higher GPU score as well. It's not by a lot. It's not like a huge difference, but I can't say that the 690 is inferior to the 730. Do you know what I'm saying? If anything, they're very comparable to each other. So in terms of battery life, the 690 gives you just an inch, what is the word? Whatever, a little more performance battery life, or a little more efficiency. And then the overall score, the 690 looks like it does have a little bit more performance overall over the 730. So the 730 though has a higher clock speed, 2200 versus 2000, or 2.2 gig versus 2. And then the pros of the 690 is it is a newer chipset announced a year and 3 months later. It shows better in the Antutu score and has a better instruction set architecture. I don't know what that means. Sorry. I'm not going to pretend that I know what it means and pretend to let you guys, whatever. I'm not the smartest man in the world. And even though I'm very nerdy when it comes to things, I don't know the ins and outs of that. So there's not much here when it comes to single score and multi-score things on Geekbench, because it's not available for the 690. But you can see here there's a 12% increase over the 730G. And then you can see here that, yes, the 730 has a higher clock rate at 2.2 gigahertz over 2 gigahertz. But I'm assuming that because the 690 is a newer chipset, there are slight enhancements from it. And then the GPU seems pretty similar as well, even though the 690 offers a higher score. And then memory frequency is higher as well. Now, the 730G is capable of a 1440p resolution over just a 1080, which is why the N10 5G or whatever has a 1080p resolution, but so does the 4A, right? We're not talking anything different there. And then the big difference here, though, is in the modem. So the N10 5G will be capable of 5G, and you'll see here it was announced in June of 2020. So let's go back. Let's get back into this article. I just wanted to show you the specs when it comes to the 730G and the 690, and to let people know that one isn't completely blowing the other one out of the water. If anything, they're pretty comparable. And if anything, it looks like the 690 kind of outspecs the now older 730 chipset. And in this case, the 730G. So, coming to camera hardware, the OnePlus Nord N10 5G will be the first OnePlus phone to offer a 64 megapixel camera at the back, with the OnePlus 8 series featuring a 48 megapixel module. It'll be joined by an 8 megapixel wide angle lens and two 2 megapixel auxiliary sensors. So again, if you're looking for an ultra wide camera, the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, God, what an awful name, will give you a little more versatility when it comes to its shooter. So it'll have a main shooter, but it'll also have an ultra wide lens, and the Pixel 4a does not give you that. But let's be real, the Pixel 4a will probably still give you better camera quality overall, at least in its main shooter, because it can't do any ultra wide shots. But if camera isn't your top priority, then maybe that's not going to matter. Maybe that's not even a factor. But I will give it to the Pixel 4a still in terms of its overall quality for photo quality. I mean, I can't say that for a fact unless I did a real like side-by-side comparison, but we all know that the Pixel lineup is really good when it comes to photos and in a lot of respects, video still. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. All right. So the release date, I have no idea here. I'm not really too concerned. I know it's coming, but probably not until later in the year. Well, we're already into mid-September. So while there's no mention of when it'll launch, it's likely to debut shortly after the OnePlus 8T. Well, maybe they'll release it right when the 8T gets released, right? So maybe they'll release the 8T and they'll say, we got one more thing. Here's the Nord N10 5G. And maybe they'll release both at the same time. They'll say, here's our 8T that you can buy at $1,800. And then here is the N10 5G that you can buy for $399 or $379 or $349 or whatever. All right. So it says here, the mid-range phone will be priced lower than the regular Nord, with OnePlus aiming for a retail price of under $400. OnePlus will also release an entry-level option later in the year, with that particular phone set to be available in the vicinity of $200. So really, that's about it. Is it going to be a phone that will outperform the Pixel 4a? I don't think so. I don't think this is going to like bury the hatchet for the Pixel 4a. Bury the hatchet. That's not the term. Will it put it in its grave? That's the better term, but that's not even a real term, I think. Well, what I'm trying to say is I don't think the Pixel 4a is going anywhere, even with this OnePlus Nord N10 5G coming to the States. I don't think it's gonna be the demise of the 4a. The 4a will still give you an excellent camera. It'll give you stock Android, and that's something OnePlus has been moving away from. So if you're not a fan of what OnePlus is doing lately, changing their whole, their whole outlook on stock Android, this is another reason to kind of move towards a Pixel phone. There are people who are moving away from OnePlus phones because they don't like what's happening with OnePlus, and them saying, well, no, we're going to give you a better optimized version of Android. Well, Android 11's out right now. I don't know if it's out for OnePlus at the moment. Is it? Is Android 11 out for any other manufacturers at this moment, or is it just Pixel phones? So that's something to think about as well. I think depending on what this price point is going to come at, it'll still be a decent phone, but I have a feeling I'm still going to recommend people to the Pixel 4a. I still don't think 5G is worth it right now. I still don't think that is the number one reason you should be buying a phone. Now, if you want, we can't even talk about speed. I'm pretty sure the 4a and the Nord N10 5G will perform similarly. I guess if you want a bigger display, you want the ultra wide cam, and you want 5G connectivity, you have the option, which is good. Options are good. It's good to have competition. It's good to have all of these companies putting this competition in in the market. I'm happy to see OnePlus bring it here. I would have been happier if the Nord, the original Nord, the OG Nord just came to the States instead of like, yeah, let's make another variant for the US because money. I don't know. Okay, guys, let me go ahead and get into chat. I know I kind of talked on that for a bit. Let me scroll up here. While I'm scrolling up, please, if you have a second, hit the thumbs up button. I know that sounds like awful gimmicky marketing, whatever, but it is a way to support. So if you want to support the Phone Jerome fam, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I do stream weekdays at 2 p.m. Central, and I do that weekdays. I just said that. I'm being redundant. Okay, let me get into chat. Let me see here. Oddweight says, in this economic climate, raising prices is a stupid move. I agree. I completely agree. Deepak also says Apple Watches are expensive. They are very expensive. I wouldn't buy a new Apple Watch unless I absolutely needed one, and I would just look for the best deals if you are looking for one. Deepak says, totally confusing name. Why another variant for the US? Thank you, Deepak. I know why. Carrier dominance. OnePlus 8 may get swallowed. I didn't think about that. That's a great point. I didn't even, like, in my head, I was trying to think of the reasons why, but yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Zane says, with this rate, or at this rate, backup phones are going to look like mutated spiders. Too many damn cameras or lenses. I mean, yeah, I'll take it if the lenses are going to be good. If they're just going to be mediocre lenses, why are we going to add a ton of cameras in the back if they're all going to be shitty? Brian says the OnePlus 8 Verizon edition won't be completely affected due to the OnePlus Billy probably not having millimeter wave 5G. That's a good point too. I got to start calling it Billy instead of N10 5G. Oddweight says thinking about getting the 8T Pro. Not sure though. My Note 10 Plus feels super new with a new case and the new software update. There you go. Well, Oddweight, there's that rumor that there's going to be no 8T Pro. It's just going to be the 8T that's going to have the Pro features on it. They're going to completely, I think they're just going to have one phone that's going to be their top of the line, premium line, whatever. And I think it's just going to be called the 8T. But we'll see when that comes out. Fear the Roo 42, what's going on, man? Hey, Jerome, I think I'll be waiting for the Nord 4X AL 40DS 10G. Who exactly is getting paid to make these devices or name these devices? Yeah, I don't know. I think even us here in this chat can collectively come up with a better name than the Nord N10 5G. Where does N10 come from? What is that? What is an N10? Why N10? Jennifer Cho says, I used to have a OnePlus 5T. I had a OnePlus 5T. I think I had the red OnePlus 5T. That was one of my favorite phones. It was literally lost. RIP. Have been on an older Moto G5S Plus since, looking for the new phone. I really wish OnePlus kept the headphone jack. I agree too. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I don't use the headphone jack the same way as I used to because I got caught up into wireless earbuds and I actually enjoy them. But I still don't know why eliminate the headphone jack when I feel like it doesn't need to be taken away. Deepak E, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going, man? Xiaomi and Realme teasing 875 phones. It's too early for 875. I didn't realize that they were. I had no idea. Yeah. How much are 875 chipsets going to cost? Probably way too much. Deepak, welcome to the stream. Sean is in here as well. Hey, Jerome and chat. What's going on, Sean? How you doing? Tana is in here. Yo, Phone Jerome. Hashtag Team Pixel all day. Tana, what's going on, man? Welcome. Brian says, agreed with the headphone jack. OnePlus seems to be abandoning their roots. Yep. Something I've been saying of listening to their fan base. I don't think anyone wanted them to kill the jack. No, I don't think so either. Sujo, what's going on, man? Sujo says, off topic, but are you doing a live stream for the PS5 announcement? No, I'm the only thing I'm doing a live stream for the live announcement is the Pixel lineup. I'm not invested in gaming the same way I am with phones and like if there was going to be another live announcement that I would be doing live, it would probably be the iPhone. But yeah, no, I'm not doing it for the PS5. I don't even know what's going to be coming out for that. I don't. Yeah. But anyway, Sujo, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, man. Jennifer Cho says, yeah, I think they took it out since the OnePlus 6T, rumored because of their OnePlus Bullets wireless earbuds. Yeah, we've heard this time and time again. A lot of companies, they're just getting rid of it so they can showcase their own version. It's whatever. I think we've all been used to it, and we've all bitched and moaned about it, and what can we do at this point? Oddweight says the tech community is a small echo chamber. I don't know a lot of people who mourn the death of the headphone jack. Tana, hit that like button, everyone. Tana, thank you for the props, man. Thank you for the shout out there. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see here. Team Verizon says iOS 14 is so later than the Pixel 4a. Selwong says, get over it. 5G is coming to all new phones. I mean, it is. That's the honest truth. People are on the 5G hype train. It's here. Doesn't mean that I'm going to give it respect until it deserves that respect. That is the key point. 5G will get my respect when it deserves the respect. Is that the way to say it? Yeah. 5G, you'll get my respect when you earn it. There you go. That's what I wanted to say. DJ Shark 9000, I will always slam the like button for you. Thank you, DJ Shark 9000. I appreciate that. I should call you DJ Shark 9K. DJ Shark 9 Stacks. There you go. Tech to me, please. What's going on? Lots of YouTube reviewers showing the 4A having issues after 5 minutes of taking videos, saying it's heating up. Is it true? I don't know. Actually, I haven't used video all that much, or at least 5 minutes worth. It's been a while since I've done any video kind of stuff on it. I've been taking a lot of video with my, where is it? It's right here. With my P40 Pro Plus, I take it for my other channel when I'm recording myself eating. For anyone that doesn't know, I record myself eating from time to time. If you're ever interested in watching me eat 6,000 calories, let me know and I will give you that channel name. But no, I didn't know about that. Tech to me, please. I'll have to take a look. Maybe it's something I'll try out and see if that's an issue for me as well. So thank you for bringing that to my attention, though. Oddweight says, it might sound weird, but I went from the Bose Buds to the wired earphones that came with my phone. The sound quality is just better by leaps and bounds. It doesn't surprise me. I think at the end of the day, wired will always give you a better overall experience when it comes to quality, sound quality. Just like using a wired Ethernet cable will always give you the better overall speed experience when it comes to internet connection. I think we can all agree on that, which is why it is still a shame to, remove that headphone jack. I'm not gonna lie, I prefer using wireless because I work out. The only time I really wear my wireless earbuds is when I work out or when I go for a walk or whatever. It's just convenient. And I remember days at the gym when I would wear wired earbuds and it would get caught on a barbell or whatever. And then my phone would drop out of my pocket or whatever, and it would be embarrassing. And so I'm thankful for wireless earbuds, at least in that respect. Ted says, and CBP took away all of the OnePlus wireless earbuds. That'll show OnePlus. Next time, be original. CBP? What's CBP? Am I losing my mind here? Am I supposed to know what that is, Ted? Okay, Michael Osborne. Hey, Michael, how's it going, man? Hi, Jerome. On all phones I've had, I always put the developer mode on by tapping on build and settings, set Windows to a 0.5 transition, 0.5 animation, 0.5, and run so much smoother. Yeah, I used to do that too. I haven't done that in a while. It's been a while since I've done that, but it does smooth up that transition. I think that's something OnePlus does as well, or at least they smooth up, or they lessen that transition so it looks like it's running smoother, faster. But that's a great pro tip for people who are kind of like maybe who want that like smoother experience to do that. So thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. Brian says, I want universal 5G on all unlocked phones. Yes, completely agree. 100%. Amin says, do you make mukbang videos? Kind of. They're not really mukbang. they're videos of me eating 6,000 calories though. So maybe mukbang in a way, kind of. William says, did you hear about OnePlus Buds getting stopped by US Customs for being fake AirPods? I did not. No, I didn't know that was happening. I had no idea. Tiger Bomb, what's going on? Have I seen you in here, Tiger Bomb, before? I don't know. I hate it when my Bluetooth earbuds lose signal or get weak. You know what? I'm gonna add on to this. So the one thing that's been bothering me about my Pixel 4a is that on my AirPods Pro, they don't connect as well as on my iPhone 11 Pro. Is it because this is an Apple product, or is it because the Bluetooth on here is weaker than my Pixel 4? Because I didn't notice that much. I didn't notice the drop off as much on my Pixel 4 as I'm getting on my Pixel 4a. But to be fair, I rarely use my Pixel 4. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. But I hate that too. It's very annoying. Very annoying. Fear the Roof 42 says, I've read that the reason for the Pixel heating up when shooting video is because it's angry that it can't shoot video as well as the iPhone. Any truth to this? Fear the Roof 42, you have solved the mystery. That is exactly why. Somebody should be writing you a check for figuring that out. You've solved everyone's problem. Thank you for pointing that out. Deepak Murthy says, wireless buds are very useful in daily use, but for professional use, I go wired. I'm the same way. When I edit video, when I edit audio, when I play video games, I use wired. I even use a wired controller. I can use a wireless Xbox controller, but I keep it wired just to be sure that I get that extra like millisecond when I'm playing Rocket League. Gandex says, is it just me, or is the stream flashing for anyone else? Hopefully not. Refresh, Gandex. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, man. Amin says, is it just me? What is, or the Pixel 3 has better screen colors than the 4? I don't know. I don't have a 3 to test that out. So if someone else can test it out, please feel free. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and let's move on. Real quick, before I do, I just need to point this out for anybody in the stream, for anybody that notices people with green in their name or a red Chicago star next to their name. That's because those particular people are part of the Phone Jerome fam, and you could be one too for as little as 99 cents a month. Guys, 99 cents a month. It's a way to support me. Don't you want to support the Phone Jerome fam? Don't you want to be part of the Phone Jerome fam? You can be part of this fam for joining as little as 99 cents a month. You'll get the green in the name. You'll get the green in your name. You'll get the red Chicago star next to your name. You'll get to use custom emoji. Guys, custom emoji. I made this custom emoji. Not really, but I mean, I did pick it out. And you'll get your name in every single one of my intros and outros to my live streams. You will also get access to my private Discord where we talk about tech and talk about fasting, since it's what I do, so on and so forth. All you got to do again is click that blue join button. If you can't find it, you can go to youtube.com/Phone Jerome/join. That is just my little marketing spiel. I'm done with that now. I understand that it's hard. That's what she said, especially at these times because of money. And I get that. And, I understand it's tough. So if you can't do that, that's why I advocate for hitting the thumbs up or hitting the subscribe button. It is a way to support, and I do appreciate it either way. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Pixel 5. I wanted to go in here and really dig down on what the Pixel 5 is all about, what we know so far, what we can expect from it, and when we can get all this. Honestly, for me, I'm just ready to get my Pixel 5. I'm ready to get my Pixel 4a 5G. I'm ready to get my Pixel 5. And I want September 30th to come today, right now. So this article from Android Police is actually going to dig down into everything that's happening with the Pixel 5. We've talked about it many times. You guys know how I feel about it. I'm very excited for this phone. But for anyone who's curious or what we can expect let's go ahead and dig into it. So Google just announced that we have a September 30th Pixel event to look forward to. So what is this? 2 weeks from now? It's 2 Wednesdays from now. 2 Wednesdays from now, we will know about the Pixel 4a 5G, the Pixel 5. Get your credit cards ready. I mean, I don't know if they're going to have it available for sale on September 30th, but the hope is that it is. We can order it and we can all get ready for the new Pixel season. So, yeah, the expectations are high for the flagship follow-up. The pace of leaks has also picked up, and though some details are still unknown, there's some disagreement about the particulars. So we'll get into like what those disagreements are, but we probably know most of what to expect from Google's upcoming Pixel 5. What will it look like? These are the renders. I think a lot of people have supported that these renders are legit. And I think the one thing that a lot of people talk about is the fact that these bezels are symmetrical. The one thing that's bothered me for so long with the Pixel 4 is, there's my Pixel 4. Is the battery? Nope, the battery's dead. The one thing that's annoyed me about the Pixel 4 is not only the fact that this battery is dead compared to my Pixel 4a that does so much better. See, the battery's working here. But I'll put on Do Not Disturb later. It's fine. Is the fact that the Pixel 4, as much as that technology was poured into it and they were trying to do their best, still an overpriced phone. Project Soli with Face Unlock wasn't the best implementation, although I felt like it got better over time. It still provided real asymmetric bezels. It didn't make it the most aesthetically pleasing phone, especially when compared to the Pixel 4a. Yes, the Pixel 4a has a punch hole punch, whatever, on the top left, which I understand isn't everybody's cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea either. I would have rather had a selfie, pop-up selfie cam, but we can only expect so much. So anyway, yes, I was like, where did I lost my train of thought. The fact that we're going to get more symmetrical bezels, I think, is a huge plus. I know that not everybody might care about that, but on my Pixel 4, when I noticed how fat that bezel was on top and how much skinnier it was on the bottom, it was one of those like OCD moments where I was like, man, I don't even use this Project Soli motion gesture stuff. So what is the point of it? That's how I felt about it personally. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about what other rumors we have or like things that have come out. So yeah, like this here is the Pixel 4a 5G on the right, the cheaper version, the Pixel 4a XL version, if you will, of the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 4a version. No, the Pixel 4a XL version of the Pixel 4a is right here with the Pixel 5 pictured here. Both phones are going to be very similar when it comes to the camera, at least from what we know, but we'll go ahead and read if anything has changed. If anything has changed since then. So the pace of leaks has been picking up since Google officially outed the phone together with the 4a 5G, and then they showed what it could look like. Here is hold on, let me make sure this is on mute. I guess a render of it. I mean, it's pretty much my 4a. It's the same, almost the same form factor. Maybe with even better bezels, and that's what we got for it. So the industrial design is immediately identifiable as a Pixel if you've seen last year's Pixel 4, the 4a, or leaked renders of the 4a 5G. The physical configuration for the rear cameras appears mostly unchanged compared to the Pixel 4, though the flash has been moved to the top and the cameras themselves might be tweaked. More on that later. So that's what I want to read into. Is the camera going to be better for the Pixel 5? Or is it going to be exactly the same as the 4a 5G? My fear is that the entire camera experience and setup is going to be exactly the same as the 4a 5G as it will be on the 5. Is that the worst news in the world? No, it isn't, because they're excellent cameras, but I was expecting a better camera setup for the Pixel 5. Doesn't mean that this is how it's going to be. We don't know the full specs. We don't know the exact way it's going to go, but this is all we can work with. So we're going to continue on and work with what we got here. So Google also looks to be dropping the Pixel 4's fancy face unlock tech, returning to the tried and true, much loved rear mounted capacitive fingerprint sensor. The one thing I love about my Pixel 4a, the reason I'm using it over my Pixel 4, the reason I'm using it over my iPhone 11 Pro at the moment is the fact that I have a rear fingerprint reader. Probably my favorite fingerprint reader ever. I love the rear mounted fingerprint reader setup. I love the fact that I can use this fingerprint reader to swipe down for notifications, swipe up to bring the notifications away. I think it's the best implementation of a fingerprint reader. When I say, why am I using that now over these other things? One, the Pixel 4 still cannot use all my apps to unlock with facial recognition, face unlock technology, whatever you want to call it. And when I say that, I'm talking about like my banking apps or the private apps or the apps that need more security. Third-party developers haven't been able to fully take advantage of all of it just yet. They've been working on it. My Chase app finally works, but it took so long before it became a thing. My iPhone 11 Pro, while that works really well for Face ID, we're in COVID season. We've been in COVID season for 6 months. This is the longest season of all the... I'm tired of COVID. I'm tired of it. But the fact is, I wear a mask when I go out. I don't pull it down unless, I don't know. I don't remember times I really ever pull it down when I'm out. But the fact that I can't use Face ID when I'm wearing a mask when I'm outside is frustrating. And the fact that I can use a fingerprint reader instead is a lifesaver. Oh, Jerome, you're being dramatic. Is it really a lifesaver? I mean, maybe it's not a lifesaver, but it's really convenient. It's a lot more convenient than having to pull my mask down and, worrying about catching something or whatever than just using my fingerprint to unlock my phone as I'm pulling it out of my pocket. That's just me. Your mileage may vary when it comes to that. All right. So, where did I leave off? We do get one of those snazzy modern hole punch front facing cameras, like the Pixel 4a. Unlike the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 5 may manage perfect bezel symmetry. Unlike the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 5 may manage perfect bezel symmetry. Symmetry, God damn it. The Pixel 5 may manage perfect bezel symmetry too, including the bottom. It's a small point, but I live for these sorts of tiny touches. So do I. The thing about the Pixel 4a is the symmetry might not be perfect, but it is a hell of a lot better than what is on my Pixel 4. And the fact that the Pixel 5 is going to have a similar form factor as the Pixel 4a, except even like thinner bezels and more symmetrical bezels and an even bigger screen, an even bigger display, I think is a huge plus. Something that I'm excited to see what this final product is for the Pixel 5. I know that I shouldn't be that optimistic, especially with the specs it's coming with and the $650 or $700 price point, but let me live in this fantasy world for at least a little bit and hope and dream that the Pixel 5 will be something that we can all be excited for and say, this phone is worth your money. It's worth the $650. It's worth the $700. All right. So, while we originally thought that the Pixel 5 would have a textured or coated, presumably metal body, a more recent leak suggests it may have a plastic back. So we aren't sure what sort of materials to expect now. And I think that's the one thing that I'm a little worried about. I'm worried that it's going to have a plastic back. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. But at $650 or $700, that's pretty pricey for plastic build material. I know we can't have everything we want in this world, but I feel like at that price point, at $650, at $700, you're going to give us something better than plastic or polycarbonate. We'll see. We'll see. All right. One phone or two. Just one. Okay, yeah, that's right. People have speculated, is there going to be a Pixel 5 XL? And then there was all this stuff about the Pixel 5S, but let's see what they have to say. They being Android police. Just one. While earlier this spring we thought Bramble might be a Pixel 5 XL, more recent developments pointed to being the Pixel 4a 5G. Based on specs, you could think of the Pixel 4a 5G as being a bigger and simultaneously cut down version of the Pixel 5, as they share some internals, but Google places the name in a different lineup and the Pixel 5 stands alone. There may be one exception to this. The phone might come in two versions, with and without millimeter wave support, and it's possible the Pixel 5S leak could correspond to a slightly different name for those two versions. Let me rant about this right now. I do not want two different versions of 5G. Dear God, Google, please don't make this a Verizon exclusive with their bullshit millimeter wave. If you're going to make a phone with 5G, put all the 5G bands in there. Put all the bands in there. Don't separate this shit. Don't make an exclusive phone that only has millimeter wave while the other has low band and mid band or whatever. Or not just millimeter wave, but you know what I'm saying. Making a phone exclusive for millimeter wave. Don't do that bullshit. We don't want that. You're just going to confuse the audience that much more. And then I'm going to have to sit here and I'm going to have to figure out how to explain this to everybody and tell people what they should get and what they shouldn't get. Let's not get into that drama. I don't want that. I want one Pixel 5 that caters to all bands and we don't have to worry about that. That's my hope. All right. What are the specs? We've had a few waves of leaks when it comes to technical specs. Some details like the chipset are known with almost total certainty. Other details like precise battery size, screen dimensions, and refresh rate are a little less certain, though we trust the provenance of these more recent details. They lack the repeated corroboration other specs have. In short, take some of what's below with a grain of salt. It could change. So we're expecting a 6-inch OLED with a hole punch camera. Again, something very similar to the 4A in terms of a form factor, and then in terms of the display size, all that kind of stuff. A Snap 765G, which is also going to be what is showing up on the Pixel 4a 5G. And then the Pixel 5 will have 8 gigs of RAM. So a little more RAM than the Pixel 4a 5G at 6 gigs. It'll have 128 gigs of internal storage and a battery capacity of 9,000. I was thinking level 9,000, a battery capacity of 4,000 milliamp hours. So a much bigger battery than what you're seeing on the Pixel 4a. The Pixel 4a, I think, has a little more than 3,100 milliamp hours. So putting 4,000 milliamp hours on there, I think putting 4,000 milliamp hours in the Pixel 5 with a similar form factor as the Pixel 4a is going to give it incredible battery life. The 4a already has incredible battery life. When Android 11 came, it's even gotten better battery life, at least in my testing. In my testing so far, I'm getting over a day and a half of battery life now with 5.5+ hours of screen on time. It's almost ridiculous, the screen on time I'm getting. I feel like I've been charging this phone every 2 days now instead of every day and 10 hours or whatever, or at least a day and a half I'm getting before I have to charge it up. All right. So with 4,000 milliamp hours, I feel like that battery life could even improve more, but we'll see. There's going to be 5G on it with that 765G chipset. The display might take a bigger hit in battery, but I won't know until we can actually, talk this out. So let me see here. As far as the camera, they're talking about something identical to the Pixel 4, which is what we talked about before, and then a wide angle camera. And that's the thing that kind of worries me, is that so there's going to be no more telephoto. Why they're going to remove that is kind of perplexing to me. And then the fact that the main shooter is going to be the same main shooter as the Pixel 4a 5G, the same main shooter as the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 4. That's why the price sometimes is a bit of a harder pill to swallow, because I don't think people are going to want to pay all that extra money if they can get the same camera specs on the 4A 5G. So let's see what they have to say, though. We know it'll have a Snap 765G chipset, the same as the recent OnePlus Nord, Moto Edge, Vivo X50 Pro. That means it might not have quote unquote flagship level performance like some $1,000 phones packing the Snap 865. We're not worried. Leaks regarding the Pixel 5 screen tend to disagree. Some have claimed we'll get a 90 hertz panel, others 120 hertz. Based on sources, I'm more confident in the 90 hertz claim, but we could ultimately see either, and resolution is still a question. I'm assuming they're going to get a 1440p display. I'm assuming they're going to get 90 hertz, and that'll take a little more battery life out of that. So take that into consideration too. But the fact that they're going to put a 4,000 milliamp hour battery in there makes me feel better, at least. So based on information dug up in Android 11, the Pixel 5 will probably have reverse wireless charging for topping up other devices. Who uses reverse wireless charging? Any of you? Is this a thing that people actually use? I'm not trying to knock it. I feel like it could come in handy when needed, but I feel like there are better features you could give us than reverse wireless charging. I also expect the primary camera config will be similar, if not identical, to last year's Pixel 4. But so far, it sounds like Google is swapping the telephoto for a wide angle. I would love to see all three. I don't agree with them just swapping out the telephoto with a wide angle. I don't care if people say, well, you don't use telephoto anyway. Well, I don't use ultra wide that much either. But why not have them in there when you need them? Why take that away? Why take it away on a $650 or $700 phone? It was already implemented well on the 4. And then you're going to take it away on the 5. I don't know. I don't know. So what features will it lose versus the Pixel 4 solely? Face unlock. Based on leaks, we're confident that the Pixel 5 will technically quote unquote lose a few features compared to the Pixel 4. With the new edge-to-edge screen design, there's no real space left in the bezels. That means a more svelte design, but it also means we're almost certainly losing both Soli's motion sense gestures and face unlock. All those sensors need some serious space, and hence the Pixel 4's bezel-licious forehead, unless Google is somehow able to embed them beneath the screen and simultaneously hide that fact until now, which is pretty unlikely. That's not going to happen. You can probably count them out. It's not going to be a thing. We're also sure there won't be an XL version of the Pixel 5, although the Pixel 4a 5G may fit the bill as an XL variant for some, and it has similar specs. Google has placed it in a different series. Will it have 5G? Yes. How much will it cost? So they're saying here $699. While there's no way to be sure it was a genuine poll from Google. Yeah, there was a poll that kind of pointed that out, but yeah. Given that Google is moving to a less expensive chipset, and given the frequent complaints about flagship Pixel pricing in the last few years, a $700 price tag seems plausible, or at least possible. For all we know, it could cost less. And then when will it come out? September 30th. I feel like this is all the stuff we've talked about now. So either Google is changing how it's handling pre-orders. Okay, so they're saying on its French blog, pre-orders would open on October 8th. Historically, you've been able to pre-order Pixels on the date of their announcement, which I'm hoping. This has been a year of delays for Google, so the dates could easily have been shuffled around. Also note, Google has been upfront that the Pixel 5 isn't coming to India or Singapore as well. So I apologize to all my fan base that does watch here from India. I know Jason Lim, who's here every once in a while, or is pretty regular, is from Singapore. But I think he just picked up a 4A. He probably knew that the 5 wasn't coming to him. And yeah, I feel like a lot of this we've talked about. I feel a lot of this we've kind of explained and in depth. And I just wanted to kind of like flesh out what we know, what could be happening, how I feel about it, and then to see what you guys feel about it as well. So let me go ahead and go back into chat here. I see a $1.99 super chat from Will. Will, thank you, man. That broken app from Twitter. You try it on iOS. So yeah, actually, what happened, Will, is so for those that don't know, let me share this real quick. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, you guys should follow me on Twitter. I mean, you don't have to, but like I'll occasionally tweet and do the tweet thing. But I tweeted on Twitter. I was like, Ventura Chicago. For those that don't know, Ventura Chicago is the company that handles all the public transit in Chicago. So taking the train, taking the bus. I use a card to get on the train, on the bus, and I wasn't able to open the app. This was what I was getting when I tried to open the app on my Pixel 4a. So I tweeted them today and I said, Venture Chicago, what's up with your mobile app? I can't reload my CTA card. You trying to leave me stranded at the red line or what? And then I said the app just hangs even after a reset. And then Ventura said, hi, Jerome, are you by chance using a device that recently upgraded to Android 11? And I said, yes. Is that why? I'm surprised you guys are up. I said, I'm surprised you guys are on the up and up with Android 11. Keep me posted. Then they said, apologies for the inconvenience. The current version of the Venture app, which will be soon retiring, I didn't realize they were retiring it, is not compatible with Android 11. But we're excited to be launching an all-new app. Here's more info on how to keep writing. So yes, Will, it does work on my iPhone, but it doesn't work for Android 11. That's pretty much the gist of it. But Will, with the $1.99 super chat, thank you, man. Thank you for the support. As always, guys, thank you so much for people who do support in that way, who go the extra length, the extra mile to help out. I appreciate it. It helps offset costs. It helps me continue what I'm doing. So Will, thank you so much. All right, let me scroll back up here. Brian, did I thank you for the $1 super chat? I don't know if I did. If not, if I did, here's a second thank you. But Brian, as always, thank you for the super chat. Brian has been on a continuous streak of super chats. If anything, I feel like Brian has super chatted almost every time I've streamed. That's some dedication there. And I thank you so much for that support, Brian, as always. Thank you so much. All right. Let me go ahead and scroll back up just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me see. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything here. Jason, there's Jason Lim. Regarding wireless buds, go to the developer option, look for Bluetooth AVRCP version and change default to 1.6 or 1.3 older version. Would be better supported. May fix your connection dropout problems. I will do that. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. I didn't. I'll let you know. I'll try that out today and see if that actually changes things. Team Verizon says October 2nd is Pixel 4a shipping day in the UK. Team Verizon so excited, but I feel so bad that it's taken so long to get to you there. Amin says, I don't think the Pixel 5 bezels aren't symmetrical. It's just that angle. We'll see. I think at the end of the day, I'm still going to get much better bezels than I will on the Pixel 4, and I am at least thankful for that. Brian says, Android phones have to stop trying to be Apple. They tried their own face unlock and failed. And that's the thing. It's like, I think Google can make a good face unlock, but they got to get the third-party developers like in line. They got to make sure that those apps are out as well, because what's the point of face unlock if I can't unlock my mobile banking app or my credit card app? Why do I have to now then put my password in because there's no fingerprint reader and I have to use face unlock instead? Or like I've said many times, just give us both. Give us face unlock, give us the fingerprint reader, and then we can choose what works for us. Amin says, I went from a Pixel 1 to a 4, so the bezels were fine for me. And yeah, no, that's fair enough, Amin. And that's the thing. It's like, I know I sit here and I shit on the Pixel 4. It's not the worst phone in the world. It isn't. I know I talk a lot of shit about it, but when I paid $800 for it, yeah, I'm a little salty because I paid a lot of money. If you were able to find it for a great deal, like I know some people have, if you're okay with the 4-ish hours of battery life, like more power to you. Really, at the end of the day, I feel like I've been saying at the end of the day a lot. Really, what works for you or what's best for you is different for what's best for other people. So like, yeah, I might just be nitpicky. I might just be nitpicking at the thing right now, but I'm glad that the 4 has been working out for you. Like, no hate at all. Like, I'm still part of that Pixel fam, and like I enjoy the phones. I'm just really enjoying the 4A because of the price to performance, like bang for your buck kind of deal out of it. Anyway, I know I kind of ranted about that. Ray, what's going on, Ray? How you doing? I'm concerned about this title. Watching from my 4A. Did you miss my 4A versus Nord N10 5G? I don't think there's much to worry about or be concerned about. I think the Nord N10 5G will have a couple pros, a bigger display. I mean, maybe an even like better performing chipset and GPU, but probably not by a lot. It'll have 5G, but other than that, the 4A will still have better software support. It'll have stock Android. It'll probably most likely have a better camera, main camera overall. I can almost guarantee that. It won't have a wide angle like this N10 5G will have, but you got to pick and choose and see what's right for you. Anyway, Ray, welcome. Let me see here. Jason says, Google, turn the camera 180 degrees. Ta-da, new design. Well said, Jason. Deepak says, my main concern is the sensor. Will Google finally update the same old sensor? Deepak, I think you and I know the truth behind this. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will. William Maya says, bought a 4A yesterday. Just curious how good a $350 phone can be. Probably going to give it to my dad and order the Pixel 5 when it comes out. Not a baller. Just have other things I can sell. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Take what you're not using, sell it, kind of like turn that around, use that to offset the cost. But William, let me know how you're liking the 4A. Let me know if you like it as much as I do, or if I'm on that like hype train and I'm just like speaking it up way more than I should. But I really enjoy the 4A. Amin says, when the pandemic is done, it'll be over for fingerprint scanners. I mean, maybe yes, maybe no, but like here's the thing, Amin, is when the Pixel 4A is in my pocket, when it's in my pocket, am I about to do a crotch shot here? Because I'm gonna explain this. When the Pixel 4A is in my pocket, I'm already reaching for the rear fingerprint reader to unlock my phone. That is faster than face unlock because I am in the motion of unlocking the phone as I'm pulling it out of my pocket. This is okay. That's not all right. Here, right? In my pocket, as I'm reaching in, I'm already unlocking the phone. Like I've unlocked the phone because now it's going off. But again, in my pocket, not on my face, I'm already unlocking the phone. It's already unlocked because my hand is naturally going for that fingerprint reader. I just have to visually show that there is a pro for having a fingerprint reader, especially a rear one. Yes, I'm not knocking Face ID. I think Face ID is great. I think it works really well, and it works a lot better now than it did when it originally came out for the iPhone 10. Ultimately, I'd love to see both Face ID, Face Unlock, whatever you want to call it, Touch ID, fingerprint reader, but I don't know if that day will ever come. Quab20 says, I got a OnePlus Nord. Nord is a smooth phone. I'm sure it is. Deepak Murthy, who's in here as well, also has a OnePlus Nord. I've heard great things about it. Unfortunately, I live in the US, so I didn't have a chance at a Nord. But Quab20, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Jennifer Cho says, honestly, I'm interested in a Pixel 4a 5G because of the larger battery capacity for a long future rather than 5G itself. And that's a fair assessment too. How do you feel about the bigger display? Or is that not a thing? I'm just curious, because if you want something with a larger battery capacity, what about the Pixel 5 with a smaller form factor, with a form factor that's similar to the Pixel 4a? Again, I'm not playing, it's not devil's advocate. I'm just genuinely curious. Quad 20 says plastic or glass, it doesn't matter. It's going to be in a case anyway. Here, I have to point this out. Somebody said this in a video as well. Somebody said this in my video when I talked about this, when I talked about build quality. They're like plastic or glass. They didn't say it exactly like you did, but Quad 20, the way you say it, it doesn't matter. It's going to be in a case anyway. Is this in a case? 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 There are some people who do not use cases. So this argument, at least for me, is null and void. Yes, most people use cases. I get that. So it matters for some people. The premium build on my Huawei P40 Pro Plus is just levels better than many of my other phones. Levels better than this phone. And this is an $800 phone. The ceramic back on my P40 Pro Plus feels amazing. The heft on this phone feels amazing, but it's different for everyone. It's like, I don't like when people use this because I guess you might not know me well enough, but I don't use cases. I don't use screen protectors. I use the phone as is, as it comes. Okay, moving on. Brian says, I don't mind the slightly larger chin on the 4A. Would be great if they made the bottom speaker front facing. I would love that too. For sure. Definitely would love that. Edgar Hernandez, Edgar H. YouTube live feed keeps cutting off on me. For me. Well, see, this is the beauty of multi-streaming. So I'm glad you were able to watch me on Facebook. I don't know why you're having issues. Hopefully other people have been fine. Hopefully. Junior Aziz, what's going on? The Pixel 5 needs some improved video quality, 4K 60. Yes, I agree. Like I can't even like add on to that statement. You all know how I feel about that. Completely agree. William Maya says 4K 60 would be a very pleasant surprise. Don't know if I should be doubtful, but I kind of am. William, be doubtful. It is better to not expect it and then have it show up than to be expecting it and not have it show up. So that's just like a tip from me who wants to expect the best, but might not always get that. All right, let me see here. Sal Wong says they want you to use their super res zoom. That's why. But is that super res zoom better than optical? I don't think it is, right? I don't know. I haven't really tested it to really see. Junior Aziz says there are so many phones coming out in 2020 with the 765G chipset. I'm concerned for the Pixel 5 sales. I mean, I guess this is kind of where I say don't worry about the sales. I mean, unless you're worried about Google not continuing making more pixels, but like buy the phone that's best for you. It's nice to have the competition out there. I'm not too worried about if it's going to like, because I don't think Google is going to kill off the Pixel. I don't think they will. I think they'll always continue making it. I'm not worried about who buys it and who doesn't buy it because at the end of the day, there you go again. I'm saying it again. At the end of the day, I'm more concerned about how the experience is for me. I want stock Android. I want a good price. I want good performance, and hopefully the Pixel 4a 5G and Pixel 5 live up to all of those things. Deepak says the 5 has to have a better battery than the disastrous 4. It's gonna. At this point, I think Google has learned their lesson. They're going to make a Pixel 5 with a better battery for sure. Brian says, I use reverse wireless charging occasionally if my Pixel 3 XL is running low. There you go. Oh, that's right. Because you use your Pixel 3 XL as your hotspot, right? So there's a perfect use case. See, I know it's not. I sit here and sometimes think it's just about Jerome, but it isn't. Selwong says, a lot of Pixel fans wanted ultra wide last year, but they gave a telephoto instead. I know. I just feel like Google needs to put all 3 in there because why not? Why not? LG Velvet has a premium build at $700. Google makes this thing less $600. Oh, yeah. Google, make this thing less than $600. I was going to say, no, I see what you're saying. Yes, no, absolutely. I agree, Brian. I agree. Let me see here. Michael says, Have a solution, Jerome. Set up a tick box vote on everything top spec phones have and see what everybody would like. Then submit to Google and perhaps they will put their resources in those areas. As much as I would love to do that, Michael, I'm a very small YouTuber. Google doesn't listen to me. Google gave me a Pixel back in the day and they decided that I didn't say Team Pixel enough. So I'm not in their good graces. So as much as a solution as that would be, I'm a small fish in a big pond. Fear the Roof 42 says, not saying that the screen is flashing, but I haven't seen this much flashing since my freshman year of college. Flashing. Oh, you mean issues with the stream? Is that what you were saying? Is that what you were saying earlier? Who was saying that earlier? Anyway, I like the joke there though. Fear the Roof 42. All right. Y says the Snap 690 is not that. The Snap 690 is not that good though. So if anyone knows, it would be Y. But so when I look at it, when I look at the 690 versus the 730G, they look very similar. So why is the 690 not that good? Or are you saying that it's just relatively similar to the 730 and that it could be better? That I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why isn't it good? What makes it not as good as the 730? Is it inferior to the 730? I don't know if you're still in here, but please, if you are, let me know. Okay. So people were asking, is the 690 far weaker than the 765G? Ooh, as far as the 765G, I'm pretty sure it's weaker for sure, but I don't know if far weaker is the term there. Fear the Roof 42 says, in one stream, I hear Jerome drop, that's what she said, and crotch shot. Also, am I the only person left using a PIN code to unlock? I don't use PIN code ever. The only time I use it is when when I try to use my, when I have a face mask on and I have to use my PIN to unlock. That's the only time I do. Yeah, Deepak says, I'm really happy with my European Nord. Yeah, I'm jealous that I'd rather use the 765G than them giving us an inferior 690. I guess the question was, well, maybe that's what Y meant. Maybe Y meant 690 not being as good as the 765. Because yeah, I would obviously take a 765 over a 690 any day for sure. Deepak says caseless Jerome in the building. Saul Wong says most of us use cases. Yeah, but I don't. And I'm the only person that matters in here. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, there you go. Fear the Roof says haven't used a case in probably 8 to 10 years. I'm the same way. I used a case a long time ago and I just haven't in a while. Jennifer Cho says I could go either way, I'm guessing, on display size between the 4A versus the 4A 5G. Although I do think Samsung phones can get ridiculously large. Yep. I agree. And I have used wallet cases on my phone for a long time. I've never used a wallet case. I always get surprised when I see people use wallet cases because not that it isn't useful. I guess I just like having my wallet separate from my phone, but I can understand when people do use them. Brian says, I just don't want flexing and creaking due to the plastic build. I want the build quality to hold up. That's a fair point too. Keystone Tech, what's going on, man? Welcome. I'm getting it, cuz trading my 3A for it. You're trading your 3A for 4A 5G, Pixel 5, or the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. God, that's an awful name. Either way, you couldn't go wrong. I think those would be all great upgrades for sure. Jennifer says, my siblings would be so disappointed if Google discontinues Pixels. They love stock Android. Well, I would be very disappointed as well. I mean, I know you're new to my channel, but if you've watched my old videos from 5 years ago, I was big on the Nexus 6P, and I've talked about my love for stock Android for a while. I think most people know this. I think that's why most people are on this channel, because they know. I think a lot of people are fans of stock Android as well. Keystone Tech says, I love my Velvet. Did you get the T-Mobile version? The T-Mobile Velvet? Congrats if you did. All right, let me see here. Ryan says, who needs Team Pixel when we have Pixel Jerome? There you go. Keystone Tech, still celebrating my birthday from yesterday. Keystone Tech, happy belated, man. Happy belated birthday. Yeah, happy belated. Hope you had a good one. William Maya says, only started using a case on my S20 Plus. This thing's like it'll crack at any moment. I don't blame you, especially when people are spending a lot of money on phones. I get that. I totally get that. I mean, I have this $1,300 phone here, and like I guess I live life dangerously. Okay. Keystone says, yes, the Pixel 5. I gotcha. All right, guys. I think that is going to be it for today. Guys, I want to, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. So as that's being said, I am trying to pull up my, my outro here. Like it's not obvious, but it's totally obvious. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. Come back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central. We will do it all over again. We'll talk more tech. I want to thank everybody today for the super chats, for all my YouTube members, for all my patrons. Thank you so much. Come back tomorrow. We'll do more tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. We'll do it all over. And I think I repeated the exact same thing. So at this point, I'm just going to let the music play as I wave goodbye. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one. Take it easy. Bye.